Alright, today we got a special one. And not just comes from standing up for the first time, although that is kind of weird. What do I usually do with my hands? I'm not sure. I know it's like a big problem for people. I'm usually just, I'm down. So I can just go like that and that. But I feel like a bit weird, but doesn't matter. Welcome back to Trophy Chronicles, where today I'll be taking a look at a very, very special game. That I think to say has been a subject of a lot of discourse has been quite the understatement. Touted as one of the year's first flops, the first game on the worst games list, instantly out of the way. One of the biggest flops and failures and examples of a game just not reading the room in the last 10 years, probably. 5 years? I don't know, there's been a lot. Of course, I can only be referring to the famous or infamous Highguard. Highguard was originally announced at the Game Awards of 2025. It was at the end of a 3 or 4 hour show, the final reveal. And a lot of people, myself included, it was not received very well. Like I said, at the end of a 3 or 4 hour show, you expect something better, but it was just generic hero shooter 46. You wanna know my reaction? And I think I sum up a lot of people's reactions. Ooh, final game. Oh, I like Titanfall 2. That was a good game. Okay. It looks decent. Looks okay. It looks like it could be. Oh, gameplay. Yeah, today. And I looked at a lot of people's reactions, and by a lot I mean like three, and that was generally how it was received. Oh, yeah, it looks okay, maybe. Oh, it looks fine. This is your final reveal? Who thought this was good for the end? And I quickly mostly forgot about it. But over the next coming weeks, because it was announced like December, it was coming out in like January, at the end of January, so like a month and a bit. I was keeping up with it, and I was keeping up with like how the developers didn't tweet a single thing about it, didn't do any advertisement or anything else until the day it came out for a live stream. And then it did finally come out, and I was reading a lot of the comments about it, especially on the actual Game Awards video, because everyone seemed to have the same reaction. Really? This is what you're ending with? But over the coming weeks, especially after it came out, I was keeping up with the numbers a lot. I was like keeping up with a lot of people talking about it. Despite having zero intention of playing it or not even caring about the actual game itself, I was interested in keeping up what was going on around it. And at a certain point, after thinking about it a lot and keeping up with the numbers, watching it slowly decline, it only felt fair. It's a free to play game. Let's give it a shot. And to spoil things a tiny bit, I guess, it was fine. I mean, from day one, the second I saw the trailer, like in slight defense, when I saw the horrible, horrible, hateful comments, saying it was like going to be the worst game ever, I thought it's probably hero shooter is not even a genre I care about, but it's probably going to be fine. I predicted this to be like a 4 to 6 out of 10, a bit below or a bit above average, or very very slap dab in the middle, and I was right. Again, not to spoil things, it's fine. It's just uninspiring, dull. And I think it's safe to say a lot, generally people were on board and agreed with that sentiment. Because Highguard lasted a grand total of 45 days. Don't know what that was. I'm still not sure what the positioning about it. But yeah, 45 days. For me, right now for me, it's the 9th, I think, of May. 9th of May. I thought late April to mid May it would get announced to shut down. I didn't think it'd be gone by now. 45 days after January 26th, was that roughly mid March? This went away a month before I expected an announcement. But yeah, with all this came a lot of opinions and discourse and views on the game, how long it lasted, the general concept of live services, Jeff, the Game Awards, and I'll get all into all that at the end if I feel like it, depending how long this goes. But yeah, I guess just get into it. What is Highguard? Highguard is a very basic hero shooter where you pick one of your heroes with different abilities. They generally have the same movement. They all just shoot because that's the main weapon of the game, your guns. But they all have like a specific ability and a specific ultimate. Some control little minions like turrets and they can transform into a big one. Some like leave a big guy to kind of defend or to just kill anyone around it. Shield characters. My favorite one was basically that you press L1 and you could like detect the closest enemy to you. The thing would shoot out and you're like, I can see the closest enemy. And when you press triangle, you could shoot out, or when you did your ultimate, you could shoot out like these little tornado things. And I don't know if they hurt enemies or if they did anything else, but they could detect any enemies that went into them. She was my character. There was like 8 characters, which that'll be funny later when I get into some of the trophies. You can tell they expected this to go on a lot longer, but yeah, we'll get into that later. The general goal: kill your enemies, and after a certain amount of time, a thing called a shield breaker will appear. Take the shield breaker to your enemy base, infiltrate, blow up either 2 generators or a thing called the anchor stone, which is like the main one, and you win. That's basically the sum of it. You also have a mount, which just makes you go a bit faster, and the enemy's going to shoot. Your enemy's going to shoot the mount, or you can shoot from it. If it's killed, I think it goes away for a while, but it's basically just there to be a bit faster. And yeah, basically sums it up gameplay wise in terms of like the basic. But it is essentially split into a few phases. Phase 1: Fortify. You have 30 seconds to fortify your base, which is to go up to the walls, hold square, it goes dark, it's harder to break. It's a tedious section, which is it's just 30 seconds of square, square. And somebody else put this perfectly for me. If there was like 20 walls, this might be okay. But there's like 100 of them. So you can only do 5 each. Which, if you have 3 players, that's 15. But there's so many walls. So it's like, oh, I fortified all this. But then the enemy's going to come up and go, oh, that one's fortified. Let's go in that way. It feels pointless. It's a bit less if you can team up and like coordinate and if you have 5 players. Because the game started off at 3v3, but very quickly went to 5v5. We'll get into that in a while. And yeah, it's just 30 seconds. And again, it just makes every round start off exactly the same. Because usually how these rounds go, I'm just going to walk up to random walls. This one, who gives a fuck? Just so it can take, what, 10 seconds extra to break or 1 rocket launch? It doesn't matter that much. But yeah, phase 2. Gear up. Also, I'd say the first phase used to be a minute instead of 30 seconds. I say that because phase 2, gear up, you now have 90 seconds or a minute and a half to go around to the same places and exactly the same locations on the map every single time. To gather Vespa or crystals, which is basically currency to get weapons, armor, or upgrade. Or to find chests with weapons and armor in them. The weapons and armor, the armor is just armor. It's like head armor, chest armor, mount armor. Weapons are just what you'd expect: pistols, shotguns, assault rifles, sniper rifles. There's like 10 weapons altogether. I think they probably plan to add more, but it felt very generic. You're going to find the ones you like very quickly, probably, but yeah. Biggest problem right off the bat: those 2 phases are generally going to go exactly the same. And this one used to be 2 minutes. That's 3 minutes at the start of this game. The first, like when it was before it was updated. 3 minutes of exactly the same thing. Who the fuck? Thankfully, it's gone down now to 2 minutes, which is only slightly a pain in the ass waste of time. Then you have phase 3, which is the shield breaker forming. This has been consistent. It's just a minute long of waiting for the shield breaker to appear, which both teams are going to try to get to. This is generally the first time in the game you're actually going to see your enemies. For 9 times out of 10, this is the first time you're actually going to see any actual opponents. The shield breaker's here. You're both trying to wait until it appears, grab it as quick as you can. So it's just a bunch of people just going out shooting each other, trying to kill each other. Whoever's left will probably grab it, and then you'll basically get into phase 4. Attacking the base. Whoever gets the shield breaker is going to rush to the enemy base, plant the shield breaker, which takes a few seconds, which is really annoying because it's just long enough where it's just short enough where it's like, even if you start shooting your enemy, the second they're about to plant it, you're like bang bang, headshot, headshot, head. They're still going to get it in time. It's really annoying. And which moves on to phase 5. If you're attacking, you basically have like 10 respawns to get into your opponent's base and destroy their generators, which there are 2 generators. You attack it, plant a bomb, and if you can defend that for 40 seconds, It blows up and starts the process again from the fortifying part. Or you can attack their Anchor Stone, which takes 80 seconds, and it's an instant win. So it takes long, but it's quicker in the long run. So it can easily last a long time where you attack your opponent's base, they attack your base, you fail to attack their base, and then if it does go that way where nobody gets an actual win, it basically goes into like sudden death where either you kill all of your opponents or they kill all of your team and whoever kills the other team wins. Or you get the shield break and just plant it into the thing and you don't even have to do the generators, you just win at that point. That basically sums it up. That's the game. God, it's hot. There's really not a ton else to say about it. I guess like it doesn't sound awful on paper. Describing it actually nothing about this sounds inherently awful. And it wasn't. Again, I'll get into that later, but the biggest flaw with this game right off the bat was it was just dull. It was just boring. Nothing inspired anybody. And as people are quick to point out, like I'm talking day one of the first things I heard about, and you're absolutely fucking right. The map is gigantic. This is a 3v3 map, like a map for a 3v3 player base, and I feel like it's more appropriate for a 10v10. This is massive. I've seen games where there's 16 players on each team, and maps are smaller than this, and you will go around like, where is everyone? I can't. I honestly don't know how long it takes. I wish I checked while it was still around how long it takes to get from one end to the other. Like they were very quick to put in an update for 5v5. It was so quick people just assumed that they meant this at like at launch anyway. Not like at launch, but like they intended for this like while they were making the game. It wasn't meant to be like a thing they just put in because people wanted it. They clearly planned how quick it went in. But God, I swear at one point, actually it was kind of how one of my first big crash outs at this game went. How one of my first like big frustration moments happened. At one point I was just on my horse. I was like, okay, I died. 20 seconds to respawn. Back. I'm gonna go to the shield breaker. Going on my horse as fast as I fucking can. Thinking, okay, I have to be close. No, check map, no. Right. 4 times of doing that. I'm like, how? How long does this take? And that's not even where how I got annoyed first. I think my first one, I was just after dying 20 seconds to respawn and just realized it's only like 45 seconds to get back. And it just the emptiness, the nothingness, the fucking lack of anything here. And I just snapped. And then at the end of the round I realized, wow, that took 30 fucking minutes. Who the hell do they think they are to take 30 minutes of my very valuable time? Alright, it's not that valuable, but more valuable than this. And that's what I think those are like the 2 moments where I just lost my shit at this game. And it's just so there's nothing to do that's different. Like I said, for the first 2 minutes, every game, fortify these walls. Go to the exact same location to gather the exact same weapons, the exact same amount of fucking Vespa, the exact same things for the same nothingness that I don't give a fuck about. I think it would have helped a lot if they had like AI enemies, a puzzle, a platforming challenge, something. If it was like, here you can go to these generic places to get the normal weapons, but there's a better chance of a good weapon up here, a better chance of rare weapons up here. Because say as well, the way weapons work in this game, I'll get into a bit later again with the trophies, but when you start off the game for the first like phase, for the first like loop, until you attack your enemy's base or they attack yours and you have it reset, you can only get generic or like uncommon or it's like was it common or uncommon weapons. I think it's just the white or the blue. Then you repeat like you destroy a generator, it loops around. Now you can get some I don't know whatever's next, purple, whatever. Then it can go to the legendary. But does it even matter? Look, maybe I'm wrong here, but maybe they go up at like different rates where the armor starts at 10, then goes to 20, while the weapons go to 15. I don't know. But if I have weapons do 10 damage and I'm attacking a thing that has 100 health, and then it goes later on, I have a weapon with 20 damage, I'm doing it to enemies with 200 health, that's exactly the same. So, as far as I can tell, oh, you got new stuff, who gives a fuck? You're doing the same damage, right? Maybe? I don't know. But I suppose it's that out of the way. Couldn't get into the trophies. I suppose we could just get into the trophies. I don't think there's much else to. Is there anything else to? I don't think there's anything else really to discuss. The heroes were fine, I guess. Clearly, nobody was inspired enough to care that much or to buy cosmetics. The cosmetics I didn't give a shit about. At one point I realized, oh, my currency's maxed out. And in most games you'd be like, oh, I can't get any more currency. Let's just buy whatever. And it's like, who gives a shit? Like the characters weren't awful. They weren't hideously ugly like the Horizon for our Hunter's Gathering ones. They weren't amazing like some of the Overwatch ones, but that can be worse. Sometimes the absolute worst thing you can be is in the middle. People remember Superman 64 after 30 something years. People remember Bubsy 3D. People remember Elden Ring. People remember Baldur's Gate 3. One side is shit, one side is 10 out of 10 stuff for people. Both are going to be remembered. I don't think, if you were to ask anybody, I guarantee if you were to ask like 100,000 people, name one character from Highguard. Nobody, I don't know a fucking single name. There might be one named Raven, but I might be making that up completely. I might be like associating with something else. Yeah, let's just get into the fucking trophies. I don't want this to be too long. But there's just, it's hard. It's hard not to just ramble about this kind of thing. Highguard has 33 trophies, so 32 in a platinum, and as one of them, they start off pretty simple, with like the most basic stuff you'd expect, in weirdly out of order. Trophy number 1, win a game of ranked match. Trophy number 2, win 10 games of ranked matches. Trophy 3, win 5 games. Usually games like this, like 1, 5, 10, it's like in order. But with this, no. Of course, even the trophy, even the fucking trophy list, even the order of them, they couldn't even do that, right? Because why would they? Why not fuck up in some way every single aspect of anything? And before anything don't be too negative, I played this probably more than 99.99% of its user base. I put over 30 hours into this fucking thing. I'm gonna, if I have the right. If anybody in the world has the right to bitch about this game, it's me. But a huge chunk of the trophies are just basic gameplay stuff. Win a certain amount of games. Use your first item, which lets you basically go around the back of the team base and like get an extra hole. If you want to use the back door. Revive a teammate, because basically have this thing where if you kill your enemy, a little ball pops out, you break the ball, they can't respawn. Well, they can't be like revived. Maybe they die for a bit longer. I don't know. I don't think there's any. You don't even get anything for it as far as I know. Get a kill with an axe, I think, is one. Your melee weapon. And then they have pretty basic, simple things like get a certain amount of kills using your mount. Kill a certain amount of your enemies' mounts, which I think a game flops when even Peter didn't come to complain about killing like enemy horses in this game. I think that says a lot. That's how little of an impact this made. And then they have some really funny trophies. Which when earlier I said they clearly planned for this to last longer, get more characters. There's a trophy for like a bunch of the characters to play as them, but it's not just to play as the characters. It is, but it's not. I think most characters, most classes in this game, like there's recon, support, defense, whatever. But the trophies are win 5 games with a defensive character, win 5 games with a recon character. The game only ever got 8 characters. So for most of these ones, it's just 5 games as this character, 5 of that character. I think there's like 2 supports or 2 recons. There's like 1 or 2 classes that have 2 of them, but for the most part, just play as a certain character, which can be annoying because like I'm gonna get that. Oh, somebody else took the character. Guess we're not doing that this time around. Stepping on something. I'm not used to this. I'm not used to being a biped. But 9 out of 10 of trophies in this game. Okay, slight exaggeration. More than half of the trophies was basic stuff like that. You had a certain amount of kills with your axe, which I basically did with like. Just this game had a surprising amount of disconnect. And when a character disconnects in this game, this is what you get. From start to finish. Can't join a game that's already started. Enemy players don't go away. In my first ever game, 2 of the people left. 2 out of the 3 people. It was great. Which can create a weird unfair. Obviously, a player leaving a 3v3 is fucking annoying anyway, but How do you usually get your ultimate power up in these games? Kill enemies. Oh, enemy player, he's not moving. Bang, bang, bang. Power up. Of course, you already have the balancing scale shifting of a player being gone. Now you have a target for the other team. Great, love it. I would say, jokes aside, I did love it because when I was going for the axe kills, which it would have been fine anyway, but it was really nice. Just like, cool, the enemy team has a player who's not moving. Run up, boom, boom, and it helped that go along a lot faster and a lot smoother because there's also many other people around. So you're going to try to go for your axe kill. Somebody else is going to pick him off before you get to him a lot of times, or he's going to kill you. It really did help. Thanks, disconnecting people. You could have you genuinely might have caught at least like an hour off of this. Any of the other little ones that were fine, like there was a supply drop every once in a while, like one per game. It just like stays up here and then drop. Whoever gets it first gets to keep like an LMG, so it's a super good rapid fire. Well, it's fine. And you have to destroy 3 fortified enemy walls in one game with it. It was fine. You could tell nobody cared about the supply drop because 9 times out of 10 I'd go for it and like, oh, nobody here. Nobody's even attempting to. Because how could you? It's going to appear while the enemies are trying to get to shield break. What do you do? I'm going to go off in 20 minutes this way to get a weapon. I'm probably going to lose in 5 minutes. No, I'm good. But let's talk about some of the painful, horrible standout trophies. One actually that could have been really bad, but again, I had some good luck with this stuff. There's one trophy to win a game with at least one player on your team never dying. The idea of this will probably be just try to get into your opponent's base, destroy the anchor stone, win. But these games can go on like 30 minutes. That's a lot of time for nobody to die. But thankfully, in a last-ditch effort to save their game, in a good and a bad way for me, they replaced 3v3 with rush mode, which takes away every single phase except for attacking the base. In my first one of these, I didn't die, got that trophy, I was so happy. And I think there's also one for winning 5 games under 12 minutes. Also helped with that. I was lucky, but they did remove the 3v3, which I would have been able to do a lot better with some of these and a lot quicker if it wasn't for that, because we'll get into it soon. It's great they added a new mode, especially as a last-ditch effort to save their game to have people more interested, but don't remove things. But at the same time, I guess it makes sense. They had like 1,000 players at this point on Steam, at least. I think they said they had like 5 times more on console. Maybe I don't know if that's an exact number, but I get why they didn't want to be like splitting their players between 3 different modes. I guess a couple of them were a bit more difficult, like spending 77 or like spending 77 Vespa in a certain amount of rounds, which it wasn't hard, but it was annoying sometimes because sometimes rounds would end before you got a chance to do it. It's like open 15 chests in one round, which again, not terrible. Go to this side of the map, get 2 or 3. Go to this side of the map, get 2 or 3. So it's just another one where if it ended too fast, it was a problem. But let's just get to the 2 that really fucked me up. Which one do I go for first? So, okay, second last one I got, again, very similar to what I'm just saying about it being rounds lasting not long enough. For some reason, these developers had a big obsession with 77. I don't know why. Kill 77 enemies with legendary weapons. This was the only one where I thought, what the fuck is going on? Will I even be able to get this? There was, like, again, I will say quickly as well. When I first downloaded this game, I didn't expect to play a ton of it. But then I got to a point of, okay, this game's definitely going to get shut down quick, so I don't want my trophies to just be stuck at like 4%. Let's at least get up like 50, 60, just so it won't be just stuck there at like 4%, like I said. Or worse. And as more and more went on, I realised this is actually doable. Let's fucking go for the platinum. Why not? This was the one that I really worried about. Everything else looked fine. The problem with legendary weapons, as I kind of said earlier, to get to legendary weapons, you have to attack your opponent's base or have them attack yours. That will get you to the next phase where you have better weapons. I think you had to either and then you had to do it again. So basically, they attack your base, you attack theirs. Do you have any idea how much of a delicate balance this is? To do this, the amount of ways it could fail. They attack your base twice. Because, again, it's not just like this is a team based game. No matter how good you are, no matter how bad you are, if your team is not good enough or too good, or your enemy's team is not good enough or too good, one team is steamrolling. You had to get a perfect balance of a team that's not too good, but not bad enough to just be destroyed on either side. You attack your opponent's base twice, you win. They attack your opponent's base twice, they attack your base twice, you lose. Both ways, no legendary weapons. You attack your opponent's base and your enemies, your teammates go for the anchor stone, instant win, no legendary weapons. Same to your base, no legendary weapons. I swear, a good 50%, if not more, of games, you're never going to see a legendary weapon. And when you do, it's at the end. And so you jump out, get your legendary weapon, and it's probably like a minute before the shield breaker appears, and you're trying to get like as many kills as you can. Half the games you wouldn't even see a legendary weapon. Half the games where you did see one, you'd be lucky to get a single kill. Because again, it has to be so delicate. You get a legendary weapon, and you go up against one teammate. He's better than you, no kill. You're better than him, you might be fine. But because I started going for this when there was no 3v3 for the most part, it was only 5v5, so you get a legendary weapon. You have you have a teammate with you. You go up against an enemy, they might take your kill. No progress. 3 teammates, including you, no chance. I go against 2 enemies. You might be lucky sometimes to get 2 kills, but most of the time one of them's going to get you. You might get 1. Cool. 3 enemies, you're fucked. So it had to be such a delicate balance of finding enough teammates to kind of hold your own. A team that's good enough to keep kind of from not getting killed by your teammates too fast, but not too good they're going to kill you. And it was such a fucking terrible balance. The amount of times I'd play a game and I'd finally got legendary weapon, game ends too fast, done. Oh, there's an enemy. I'm about boom, boom. Okay, he's almost dead. Enemy or teammate, boom, sweeps in for the kill, stealer kill. The best I ever did in this, I got like 7 kills, I think, with legendary weapons, and it was that was the highlight. And as I said, some of these games, especially ones where it's like you attack your team, they attack your base, they can go like 20 to 30 minutes. So the amount of times you do a 20-minute game and just nothing. Heartbreaking. It's so demotivating. Or you just go in like, oh, here's a great game. Okay, we're attacking the enemy base. I have a legendary weapon. Let's try to get some kills. Oh no, they went right for the anchor stone. Boom, you lose. Or, oh sorry, my team was too good. They just got the enemy generator. Boom, game ends before you can even get a single kill. It's infuriating. You'll never hate your teammates more than in a game like this. But the other one that really messed me up, the one I really didn't think would be that bad, and if it wasn't for the 3v3 being removed, it wouldn't have been. When you attack your enemy's generators, you plant a bomb 40 seconds, but you can also defuse the bomb. Attacking 20 generators from your enemies, no issue. Defusing 20 bombs of when your enemy plants them, that was the last one I got, and holy shit. The amount of games where the legendary weapons I got no kills, yeah, that was bad. But this one, it's because it's the same reason. The balance had to be perfect. First, you had to play and start, and you had to make sure that your opponents attack your base. So again, if your team was too good, steamroll. No chance of defending your base. If you attacked your enemy's base and went for the anchor stone, instant win. The amount of times where I'd be like, no, stop, don't go for the anchor stone. Okay, I'm just going to sit out. I don't want to win this game now, so we're going to sit it out and stay here. Didn't matter. If it was 3v3, having one player left away, that would have made a huge difference. I could have actually made a difference by being bad. Or by not being active. In 5v5 it seemed to make no difference. Because like I said, you have 10 attacks. Like 10 respawns, and if that goes down, you lose. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to run off a building, see if I can die. You might be lucky to die twice before that fucking generator gets destroyed. So if you attacked your team twice or destroyed your anchor stone, no chance to defend. If they attacked you, cool, great. But now, again, the delicate balance. If they're too good, they're just going to plant a bomb on your anchor stone and just instant win. and by instant I mean 80 seconds. So you need the balance of them to attack your generator, but be good enough to get to a point where they can attack and not instantly be destroyed by your teammates, but not so good that they're going to defend it too well. Half the times you wouldn't even get them to attack your generator. More than half the time you wouldn't have a chance to defuse. Because like I said, if they're too good, you're going to try to get in to defuse it, boom, you're dead. If they're not good enough, then they're not going to plant one. I swear again, the amount of times where they just went straight for the anchor stone on the enemy team, and I'm like, okay, I'm not even going to play, and we'd still win. I swear, way more than half the games I wouldn't even get a chance, and you might be lucky to get one of these. But I will say, it did all make it kind of worth because it did end well. For the final one of these, in a 5v5 game, just like at a point where I was just sick of it after many hours of playing, I came in on the roof. There's like a window on the roof, broke it with a bomb, planted the charge, boom, bang, 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 bang. Hey, enemy kill, bang, 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 bang. Another enemy kill. Jump in, ready to defuse. See an enemy in the corner, boom, boom, a triple fucking kill. Defuse the bomb, get the platinum. I felt good about myself. I felt fucking great about myself. Everything else was pretty average and fine, but those were the two that fucked me up bad. Anyway, it's been 40 minutes. Let's just get into the rankings. I'm sick of it. To close the lid and the final word on Highguard, probably for maybe forever, at least for now. Definitely the longest I'm ever going to talk about it. Fun. Many people say this is the worst game of all time, and I'll get into that again in a second. I probably I shouldn't, but yeah, I'll give it So quickly before I give a number. When I first played this game, I had like one game. I was like, wow, that was kind of whatever. Two of my players left, so that kind of sucked. But it's exactly what I thought. It's fine. Game number two, maybe three that night, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna turn this off. I'm probably never play this again. But the next day, while playing Final Fantasy X, I was thinking about it. I might go back and have one or two more goes. Let's just see how it goes. And I did get sucked in a bit. Every once in a while, a friend who does streams, she does like these sponsorship stuff, and I'll download the game, get some of the goals, get her some of the money from that stuff, and it's kind of generic mobile games that I normally wouldn't touch. But when I'm doing these goals, I do get really sucked in. I will play this in like hours and hours a day. Like, oh, my 5 minute timer's up where I had to get life back. Let's go right back in, yeah. But the second the sponsorship is over, and there's no more like firm set goals, certain levels to get to, certain things to do. No matter how much I thought I loved the game before, I might open it two or three more times. Like, okay, I'll come back to it later, and I don't. There's like one or two exceptions, but most of the time that's how it goes. Because when the goal is gone, and for this the goal was the platinum, my interest dies. Like, when they were finished, they like just unloaded all the stuff they were planning to release over the coming months. I had one more game, and it's like, whatever. I'll give this game what I generally early on instantly thought was what I would give it. For fun, I'm gonna give it a 4. I think it could have been better if the cosmetics were more fun. Overwatch had great cosmetics, the characters were better. If they had stuff like that, I think this could have easily gotten a few extra points. Condense the fucking map. I don't know why I'm saying this now, the game's dead. Condense the map minimum by 25%. Have some enemies or something. Have some platforming puzzles. Literally anything besides just go here, get crystals, go here, get crystals, buy the same weapons. Have a tiny chance of having like have an area where I don't know, maybe there's like a little puzzle you have to do in like a certain amount of time. If you can do it really quick, these chests have better chances of rare weapons early on instead of generic weapon here, uncommon weapon here, rare weapon here after 40 minutes, and then a reason. I think for like again, it's higher than I would have expected at the start, but I'm not going to pretend I didn't have fun with this sometimes. It had its moments. When you were at the end of the game and there's like sudden death, you're the only one on your team, there's two on the other team, and you jump up, boom, 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 rocket launcher, hit him right in the face, and then boom, right before he can get you. That is heart pumping fun. The problem is that the fun moments in this game, the really standout ones, few, fair between, short lived. For every one of those moments, you're gonna have 10, you're gonna have like 5 games in a row of forward, 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 forward. Oh, I died. Now we're gonna wait 20 seconds and respawn, 40 seconds back. By the time you do that, a whole phase can pass. I just think better characters, better cosmetics, a few more unique weapons, more variation, more map variation too. Oh my god. I was thinking about this at 1.2. I'm not kidding here. Like when you die and you see the map on the screen, you get and respawn back in. They could change the map I'm on mid respawn, and except for the fact that one is filled with snow, I don't even think I'd notice. I genuinely think if you completely swap the map, like every time I respawned, it would take me a while to notice. That is how little impact they have on me. Again, one was filled with snow, so that's kind of hard to miss. But yeah, I think that sums up this game's problem in one word, in one line. No impact. Difficulty. That's a tough one. It's always a tough one to say. If it's just based on luck and ill thought out game design, because like I said, the legendary weapons were fucking nightmares. Because 9 times out of 10 you'd be lucky to even get them. And it's always how online games in general, because like it's not difficult. It's just if you're lucky to get a good team, it can go well. But if they're too good, you're fucked. I think I was gonna say, we'll say 6. The legendary weapons one was definitely the worst because like it's not like the legendary weapons are better than the legendary armor as far as I know, because it's still going to take the same amount of time to kill. So you just had to get lucky. Yeah, I'll say 6. It was more of a just waiting until you get one or two and then picking away. So yeah, time. How long did this take me? In what I do probably think like I said, I'm probably in the top like 1% of people who played this in terms of like length. The Highguard Platinum Trophy took me a grand total of, and I swear it felt like way longer. I'm actually kind of surprised how low it was. 33 hours. I would love, I swear, I'd love, I want to know what percentage I'm in and like how long people played it. I don't care any other game, I really don't give a shit. This one, I just want to know. Apparently, like 2,000 people have the platinum, so maybe they got it faster than me, maybe not. I genuinely think it could have been cut down by at least like 5 hours, maybe more if I could have done the 5v5. Because with the 3v3, if I wanted to sit one out because we're going to win too fast, one player out of 3 being sat out, that's a lot. That's a third of the team gone. It would have been nice. Would have been nice. Overall score, I would stick with a 4. I think it's fine. I don't know. For not what for the platinum journey, just given I don't know. It's like I said with the mobile game stuff, with the sponsorship things. When I had a goal, there was a bit more of a push and some fun to it. I'll stick with a 4. Fuck it. It could easily be a 3, but it was weirdly compelling. Just like when you did get that 1 or 2 kills, or especially got like 3. Oof. Satisfaction, man. 3 kills. Oh, 77. I'm so fucking excited. This game knows how to get your fucking blood pumping. God. Fucking Highguard. But yeah, that's Highguard. Yes, quickly a few things. A lot of things that were talked about while this game was coming out. First of all, people call it a game that Jeff Keighley killed. Do I agree with that at all? God, no. Guys, come on. I think you're being a bit ridiculous with that. Would this game have done better if it was not announced at the end of the Game Awards? Probably not. I genuinely think it just would have been less public and noteworthy. Imagine Dragons people made a game recently. I think it was a Windbreaker. I don't even remember. And that's exactly how I think this would have gone. Instead of just being like, hey, did you hear the Imagine Dragons people made a game? Yeah, it flopped. Like, oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. I genuinely think that's how 90% of people would talk about this if it wasn't at the Game Awards. Or at least it wasn't at the end. Because at the end of a 4 hour show, people expected something big, and this. It definitely made it more public and negative towards it, but I genuinely just think I feel like most people are probably on board. If it didn't happen, it would have just been the same but less public. It would not have had the same player spike at first. But I do think most people have just been like, oh, whatever. One comment on YouTube put it best that I saw, and I would have said something along the lines of, I might be paraphrasing. This game was destined to die in the back of the Steam library, but because of Jeff, it got a public execution. I think that sums it up perfectly. I think without the Game Awards, it would have been exactly the same, but instead of having like 80,000 players at first, or whatever it was, 30,000, it would have been smaller. I probably would have died a little bit quicker. But overall, yeah, it might be some people who are just like, oh, I hate this game because people are saying to hate it, sure. But the problem is not when people hate something, it's when they don't give a fuck. And I can say that again, I put 33 hours into this, and I'm perfectly on board with the idea that it was never going to succeed. Because who gives a it doesn't look interesting, it doesn't play that fun, it's fine at best, and that might be the worst thing you can fucking be. People have already found their hero shooters. People are going to go to Valorant or Overwatch or even Team Fortress 2 probably. What about this is going to make them play over those? Nothing. Like a hero shooter is not my genre. I played like a month of Marvel Rivals. I played a ton of Overwatch when it was Overwatch 1. They're both better and more fun than this. Point 2. Is it the worst game of all time like a lot of people have said? No. Fuck no. If you've played, say this is the worst game of all time, I would assume one of a few things. One, you haven't played it. Two, you're just trolling or exaggerating a bit. Or three, you have not played more than 2 games in your life. I've played 10 worse games than this in the last year that I liked. Wrap your head around that one. Is it good? No. But the worst game of all time? Absolutely not. If you're going to say this is worse than Superman 64, Ride to Hell Retribution, E.T., Life of the Black Tiger, what else is there? Superman on the Atari. Go play Superman on the fucking Atari and tell me this is the worst game of all time. At least I had the decency to be free. Contra 3, that's worse. Another World, that's worse. Spider-Man 2, I nearly put this over Spider-Man 2. The PS5 one, the recent one. There's more bad games, worse games than this I can shake a stick at. It's not that this game sucks, it's just that it's boring. It's just you're going to be riding around going, yay, riding on my horse, but there's nothing to do. Not even like in a Red Dead Redemption where it's like, wow, there's nothing around. Cool. But yeah. People got crazy with this. People got way too exaggerative with this. It was going to flop anyway, I think, but yeah. I wonder, the Summer Games Fest is in a month. I wonder if this will be referenced at all, or will it be mentioned. That's what I'm looking forward to. At the next Game Awards, I wonder, like, will there be any nod to it? That's what I can't wait to see. But yeah. Overall, Highguard, you were an interesting little game to follow for a while. I will admit that. You had it. You had a little run. In my own weird way, sometimes I will admit I do kind of miss it. It was the one thing I can give this game is if you're the kind of person who likes to just do other things while you're playing a game, watch a show, listen to music, whatever. It was fantastic. It was a great game for editing stuff because you could play this game like, oh, I'm dead. Let's go to like 20 seconds of just getting through this video. Okay, now I'm respawning. I just hold forward. I don't have to pay too much attention. You could get like every time you died in this game, you could get like 30-40 seconds of like editing a video in. Because 90% of this fucking game, okay, slight exaggeration, 70% of this game, I felt like it was exactly the same thing. Go, ride, fucking just going forward, nothing happening. Anyway, that's been fucking 50 minutes. Oh god, I knew this would be a long one. I knew it. I knew I'd fucking ramble, but what's next? That'll be a short one, good. Oh, bleep that out. Anyway, as for the next stuff I'm doing here, goodbye, Highguard. Let's not do that. I probably played more of you than 90% of the player base out there. And I probably like, in some ways I will say, despite how negative I was towards this, I am probably one of the biggest fans in the world of Highguard. I think that is safe to say. Some people say it wasn't as bad as people said. Some people just wrote it off. I had fun with it. I am and was your biggest fan. That's what I'll be doing here next. I only have three current platinum. Actually, before I go on, I'm still getting these out. I'm backed up. This game came out. This game, what is it, on May 9th, they said? This game ended in mid March. I'm still catching up. But yeah, I have three platinums left at the moment. I'm working on my number 200, so that's going to be a fun one. But the next three, one of the next three are going to be either Duck Dynasty. Wait. I'm standing up. I have more room. Duck Dynasty. Etchy Secrets. Shameful. Arguably just as shameful. Chessmate or whatever, some chess game. They're one of those are gonna be next. They're my next three in some random order. Anyway, if you played Highguard, let me know what you think. Am I crazy? Even giving it a 4, am I crazy? 33 hours, which again, if felt like if you would tell me this was 50, I would not have been surprised at all. I look forward to seeing what they do next. I look forward to the Game Awards. I look forward to Summer's Games Fest. I look forward to. I don't know. It was just an interesting little game to follow, and it's gone, and I kind of do miss it. So one last time, Highguard, from one of your biggest fans, probably. It's been fun. Goodbye. Again, if you played it, let me know what you thought. If you got to Platinum, if you're one of the very few people who got to Platinum, let me know how the experience was. And with that, I'll see you for the next one. My first one's standing up. Ooh. And I'll see you for the next Platinum. See you then. 3 shameful ones coming up.